Hey, what's up, moviegoers, and welcome back to 1-3 Movie Reviews Cluster Tuesdays. Due to unforeseen circumstances, had to postpone Cluster Tuesdays to today. But anyhow, at least it gets done, Today's Cluster Tuesdays is on the 2001 remake of Ocean's 11, which the original version was actually a 1960 film. It is directed by Steven Soderbergh. Don't really know how to pronounce that. The cast includes George Clooney as Daniel Ocean, Brad Pitt as Rusty Ryan, which is for all intents and purposes, the second in command. Bernie Mac as Frank Catton, Elliot Gould as Ruben Tishkoff, Casey Affleck as Virgil Malloy, Scott Kane as Turk Malloy, Eddie Timson as Livingston Dale, Don Cheadle as Bashir Tar, Shabal Queen, I don't know how to pronounce the name either, as The Amazing Yen, Carl Reiner as Saul Bloom, and Matt Damon as Linus Caldwell. It also stars Andy Garcia as Terry Benedict and Julia Roberts as Tess Ocean. I'm going to go ahead and mention this now, but this movie has received a lot of positive feedback to the point that it became first of a trilogy. The others being Ocean's 12 and Ocean's 13. The film centers around a heist plan formed by Daniel Ocean to rob simultaneously 3 casinos vaults, the money from 3 casinos from one vault. Those casinos are the Bellagio, which is where the vault is, the MGM Grand, and the Mirage. I actually didn't dig into if these are names of real casinos, but anyhow, doesn't really matter. And are owned by the character Terry Benedict, who's played by Andy Garcia. And thus saying, the film is basically divided into 3 parts. The recruiting of the members, which for some would be by skill level, for others due to personal grudges against the casino manager. For others, it would be for old times. And the second being the planning of making sure that everything works in their favor, as it is a single vault containing the money for 3 casinos, so it would require a whole lot of security, like needing passes to get into our security clearance levels, getting background checks on every worker there, laser systems, and alarms, like for even just a elevator shaft. Key cards, etc. And obviously the third would be the actual heist. And not to give away much spoilers, there's a major twist in this part when it comes to how it's executed. And I did mention about Julia Roberts playing Tess Ocean. Well, her part is more of a part where it would be a part of the plan going wrong because a background check being conducted. On Daniel Ocean after he reveals himself to the casino manager who is in the movie dating his ex. So it's more of a plan gone wrong type part. And in such way, it helps also explore the leading character, Daniel Ocean. As I said, this is a heist movie, and even though the third part would be the most important, I am not degrading any of the other parts because they are also pretty important. The first part you get a look about which characters have what specialties. Second part, seeing about what they're going against. And it only being until the third part that you have the whole showdown. But as I said, not to degrade any of the other parts, to encourage you to skip through. But the third part would be like the ultimate showdown within the movie. The make it or break it point for how the plan that is shown throughout the other two parts goes. And thus, and thus, it'd be one of those type of things where you skip an amount of it and you miss a big amount of stuff. But anyhow, it is a very well executed heist movie for its time being being over a decade old, and has really good action. And also really good visual effects for being, as I said, over a decade old. And this is where I struggled on putting about how I was going to rate it, because it is very good, but movies that follow it would probably have some better stuff. but I'm going to put it at this. When it gets time for reviews on those movies, or if the time comes, those movies would either be at where I'm going to put this one, or if I feel like they were not as good, they'd be degraded on the star rating amount. But it's going to be actually pretty hard to compare by how the trilogy does over the years. But as far as this movie goes, as I said, for the visual effects and action, it was really good for being over a decade old already. And thus, on a scale of 1 star being poor and 5 stars being excellent, I'm going to have to give this movie a 5-star rating. That's all for today, moviegoers, but if I can find any more stuff to add to a telenews session, that'll be tomorrow. If not, and Cinema Thursdays being on Saturday. If not, then Cinema Thursdays would be tomorrow. And for this upcoming Cinema Thursdays, it's going to be on World War Z. So be looking for that either tomorrow or the day after. Until then, have a great afternoon and catch you later, moviegoers.